Hello, my name is Rachel Anise, otherwise known as the Beauty Professor, and today I am excited to join Franz to walk you through this graphic eye tutorial. This look is kind of whimsical and interesting, a little 1960s pop art vibe, really clean and simple makeup with a fun twist on eyeliner. And this is something you can certainly modify per your own face shape, eye shape, and preferences. So join me as we get my skin prepped for the look and then go ahead and execute this really fun graphic eye. The first step to any makeup look, no matter how simple it is to properly prep your skin. My skin is super tired today after a pretty restless night of sleep last night. We have a 2-year-old and a very old dog. The combination can make for some crazy sleeping patterns. That being said, my skin needs some life today. I'm starting with the Franz Stem Cell Culture Medium Ampule. This is a single dose, and I'm going to apply it all over my face for hydration, glow, increased collagen production. It just really nourishes the skin in a single dose, and it's going to work in tandem with the mask that I use next. So there is ceramide MP in addition to the stem cell cultures, and I'm just going to pat it into my skin. Next, I'm going to work with 2 masks which come together. This is the Saint 21 Microcurrent Facial Dual Mask and Enriching Mask. I'll start with the wet mask, which is the enriching mask. I'll go ahead and apply it to my face. This mask, which is absolutely drenched in the formula. The enriching mask also comes with the By Wrinkle Plus Plus Enriching Eye and Mouth Masks, which are crescent-shaped and equally drenched with product so that you can really target the under eye and mouth areas for more moisture. Hydrates, it tightens pores, it leads to smoothness on the skin, and it really adheres nicely in a single pass. Now I'm prepping my empowering mask, which is a dry mask with 2 little ports here that will allow me to add my boosting essence, and this is going to be a dual effect. I'm applying the boosting essence into both of the ports of my empowering mask so that I can get maximum benefits in this gold mask here. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it over my first mask, and 20 minutes later, remove. Already, great. Smooth and even looking. I've learned with masks for you to just dab in the excess of whatever remains so that you get as much benefit as possible. I'm really liking how glowy and clear my skin looks. So now that my skin is amply and completely prepped, I'm going to go ahead and move into the makeup look, specifically the eye look. And since my skin is so hydrated, I'm not going to apply any other skincare, because the masks definitely took care of business, but I am going to go in with a touch of foundation just to polish things up a bit. I'm focusing application of foundation on the center of my face and then use a beauty blender to blend everything out seamlessly. As soon as that's taken care of, I'll go in with a bit of bronzer on the hollows of my cheeks and perimeters of my face, blending out very carefully again, and then I'll tap a little cream blush into the apples of my cheeks. Because this eye look that I'm about to do, which is very graphic and intense, is definitely the focal point, I kept the rest of my face pretty minimalist, just evened out my complexion, added a touch of bronzer, just a pat of peachy blush on the apples of my cheeks, and then I'll go ahead and just fill in my brows quickly before we get to the eye look. And I'm just using a tinted brow gel and bringing it upward. For this graphic eye, I'm only going to be using 3 products. So these are hopefully 3 things that you have at home. I'm using a creamy, kind of pale colored eyeshadow base, which will just even out my eyelids and create a nice foundation for the liner. And then I have a dual-ended liquid liner here, but I'm only really going to use one side. And just whatever you use, make sure that it's nice and inky black and that it resists transfer or moving. You want it to stay put because you're going to be drawing a few lines in there. And then finally, a mascara. And I'm working with one that's tubing because I want to keep any kind of smudging to a minimum, of course. I'll start with my creamy base, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply it straight from the doe foot applicator. This is Ilia liquid powder in the shade Glaze. And you can see that it's pretty similar to my eye lid tone, but just a touch lighter, a little more luminosity. And I'm just blending it out with my fingers. I don't even need brushes for this look, which is incredible. And now comes the liner. So I'm going to actually be drawing 2 lines that will meet in a tail right here and then a little bit more on the inside. So just keep an eye out for those 3 steps. And I'm using kind of a shorter tipped liquid liner. This one's from Clay to Pot. I love it because it's jet black and it doesn't transfer once it dries down. Now I'm going to be the type of person that touches their eye while they draw a line. Some people can do it without that extra assistance. I'm just not one of them. So I know what works for me. I hold it out like this, and I'm going to go ahead and start on the inside corner. Quickly move it out like that. I feel like the quicker you move, the straighter the line is. Now I'll go in and I will fill it in, getting it as close to the lash line as possible. Now this next step is where things get kind of unexpected. I'm actually going to take a line and trace it along the arch here of my eye socket and have it meet at the tail here without filling everything in. Because I have somewhat hooded eyes, I will not be drawing it right here at the crease. I'm actually going to bring it up a touch more so you can really see it. I'm using a bit of a tracing motion for this first pass, pressing very lightly to establish the direction I want this line to go. And as soon as it's good, then I can go over more intensely. All right, you notice I did a light trace on this first because I wanted to make sure my placement was correct. Now I'll go over it again. I'm now going to apply more pressure for this second pass, making sure to increase the intensity of the depth of the line and let the 2 tails meet as one. I'm just really working on bringing the tail where these 2 lines converge up a little bit towards my brow bone. Now I'll repeat the process with my other eye, starting with that line across my upper lash line and then doing the second line across my brow bone, letting them meet at the tails. The good news is that the more challenging part of this process is finished now. We have our graphic lines with some negative space on the inside and they're meeting up at the tails. Now we're going to go in with 3 dots. I'm using the short end of my liner and I'm just going to start here and dot them in. It's almost like a beauty mark meets a freckle meets an interesting shape. Have fun with this part. In order to get a precise dot, make sure to move your liner in a circle direction. And the dots are complete. And then we'll go ahead and finish our eye area with our third product, which is some mascara. I will add a dash of 1960s inspired shimmer to my bottom lip. And this whimsical graphic eye kind of 1960s pop art look is complete. I have shown you one schematic that you could use with a black eyeliner, but feel free to be creative and create your own look with the liner. The sky's the limit. You can do whatever suits your taste, and I think that's what makes this combination so beautiful. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. It was my pleasure to create it for you, and thank you to Friends for having me. I love a simple routine that takes your look up a notch. The masks certainly took my skin up a notch, and so it was so fun to create this eye for you as well. Have a beautiful rest of your month, and you can always find me at Beauty Professor. Take care and more soon.